to quote the Monty Python boys, now for something completely different. Because we've spent a lot of time looking at how I'm going to create the gauges that live basically in that middle section of my 350Z. But in the last few days, something bad happened. Fuck. That has resulted in a bunch of scratches and rips, which are a little bit difficult to see in the wrap around the front arch. This wheel has been completely torn up, and there are a bunch of other scratches and marks down this side, which again are difficult to see, but as such a perfectionist and as someone who is spending so long trying to make this car look so good on the inside, the outside has to match, and this now is just not cutting it. So in order to fix this problem and move forwards, I'm going to rewrap the entire car, but we're not going to do it in this same colour. This is KPMF black red iridescent gloss. Instead, we're going to use this KPMF black purple matte. This will also give me the chance to address a few things that aren't quite perfect. The aerial delete here, you can just see a little amount of. Same with the rear windscreen wiper delete. You can see where that was. Don't know why, but we'll figure out once we've got the wrap off. And on the spoiler, there are a few mounting holes. There's one here and here that you can just see. And there's a bunch of holes in the middle that have left that you can see. Again, it's a bit dirty at the minute, but there's a bunch of stuff we can improve. Also, someone rear-ended me and scratched all this up and split here. Again, something that can now get fixed, as well as this slight fitment issue. This just needs a slight adjustment here. And the rear and the front arches, in the front in particular, have got a bit of rust bubbling, so this basically needs drilling out, treating and sorting properly, as you can see all along here. So it's a good opportunity to do it all. The slight annoyance is that over the last couple of days I've fit this Maxton splitter and lip kit, which I'm now just going to have to take off whilst I rewrap it. But again, it means I can make a much cleaner job getting it all wrapped underneath. And finally fix things like the fact that I burnt the original one. This was the first wrap I ever did, and it came out, I think, for a first time wrap really well. But there are definitely things I learned that I will be doing better this second time. So it's not embedded projects, it's not screens or displays or UI. In this video, we're going to get our hands dirty. We're going to tear off this entire wrap, badges and spoilers, everything, and basically take it back to how I'd made it before I wrapped it. So there's like filler spots and things everywhere that we're all going to need readdressing, but I think it's going to be worth it. There's no point spending all the time in the world making this complete custom interior with Alcantara and leather, all the nice things, only to have the exterior of the car not hold itself up to the same standards. So let's get on with it. Along this journey of doing a new driveway wrap, I learned a lot of things, and I'm going to share some of them with you. And one of them straight away at the start here is that just grabbing the wrap and pulling it off is not the way to do it. You leave way too much glue behind and it makes the job way too difficult. You need heat, so get your heat gun out at this point and remove it that way. So the removal process alone is going to be definitely a bigger job than I anticipated. I've got most of it off of this one panel, and there's a lot of like glue residue. I have to zoom this or just clean off with something. I've just got to do some research as to what cleans this off. And then there's, like I say, a few bits that need sorting. Fortunately, when he swiped me, there's no real damage to the actual panels of the car, so shouldn't be too big of a deal to sort. But it's going to be a big old job just taking it all off. It's going to probably take me a couple of days. Skip to the end. So I'm on to day 2 of this, and it is slow going because all of this not only takes so long to take off, but then it leaves left behind glue residue, which you can see all here. It's normal, it's supposed to do it, but then you have to clean all that off, so it all takes extra time. I was originally thinking I'm going to take off the whole wrap and then put the new one on in one go, but I don't think that actually makes sense to do it that way, especially because, like, at the moment I've got these pillar column trims off, and it's fine right now because it's like ideal for doing this outside. Really, it's like 10 degrees and still, but it's due to rain tomorrow, so really I want to have these back on to prevent any water ingressing past this rubber trim. So I need to really put the roof on and put these pillars back on, which means I need to wrap them all. So really, I think what I'm going to do instead is just do it a little bit at a time. So the goal for today, day 2, is to wrap the roof in gloss black, wrap these pillars here in the purple, wrap these little sections here in the purple, and get those all back on the car. I have removed like rubber stripping from around the edge of here as well, so I need to glue all that back on, but hopefully I can get that done today. I've already removed all of the glue from the roof, and I've removed it from these pillars, so hopefully I can just knock that out today. But I do need to like clean up around it and try and prevent any ingress of dust and dirt and all that kind of stuff. Obviously I'm wrapping in the great outdoors, so there's always going to be a limit on how much I can actually keep off. There's always going to be something. You just got to not beat yourself up about it. Just do it as good as you can. So that's like the top pushed on. This isn't really attached at the moment, so I can lift it and check it properly. So now what I'm going to do is just take the whole thing off and then flip it and wrap the back, because if I get like a little bit of grit underneath the back, it doesn't matter quite so much. But get the bottom edge on. It's the top edge I want to make sure it's tucked properly. Have a first look at the colour. So it's a colour shift. It's purple to black. It looks phenomenal in this light. I don't know if how well that picks up on the video, but that looks lush. And it's matte, obviously. So I've got to do the other one, which I'm not going to record. You don't need to see the same thing twice. And then I remove these rubber seals here. So I've got to reattach them, because this needs to go back on, I say, tonight before it potentially rains. So other one done, seals on, then wrap the roof. Just as the sun is setting, I got it all done. Let's take a look. This colour shift is unbelievably cool. So the roof is all done, gloss black, and these panels here, see, they look really dark from over here, but as you come past, like almost glow with purple. So cool. Day 4, changes are happening. I've been investigating this front fender and the rust bubbling that's showing through here, and it's actually a lot worse under the back than I thought it was. So rather than dealing with all that, I've just bought a new front fender, so we'll just replace that. And similarly on the right, the fitment here has never been great. It's bent in here and all this is rusted. So I think there's some bending in this front fender as well, which probably hasn't been helped by the guy who hit me. Also, there's some around here, rusting and stuff around here as well. So I bought a from the right fender. So I'm going to replace both the fenders, and then that'll make life a lot easier. It's rattly at the moment. But I need to wait for those to arrive. And on the back, I've got those little holes and things that I need to fix, like on the roof where this windscreen wiper was. So I also need to wait for my body filler to arrive. So today is just a case of removing as much wrap as possible for the next few hours. And it's not the most interesting bit of content in the world. So let's take a couple of photos and we'll just see what it looks like. But yeah, it's using a heat gun and pulling off wrap. Simple. See how much work I did to this before I wrapped it the first time. It's to get like little dinks and things out, and then here where there was some new metal put in. There's a lot that goes on underneath these wraps and getting them right, and I'm going to have to sand this all back again. All this because some idiot hit me on the motorway. Managed to get all the wrap off the door, the rear seals. I think I'm replacing the rear bumper, so I didn't bother. All this is ready, so I've got to like fill and sort these small issues here and here. See, I think what happened is the metal got hot and expanded and it caused the filler to crack. I'm actually on day 6 now of doing this wrap. I've missed a few days of filming. I am ill. I am so sick, but plugging along regardless. And I'm in my office surrounded by car parts. I've got both the side skirts. One has been done and the other one as of yet has not. And then I've got the 2 front quarters or fenders. They're both done. Front splitter here. There's my cat. Bop. In my kitchen, which I've currently made a mess because I'm working in here, is where the fun is going down. Today I'm taking everything off this front bumper and redoing it. I made a bunch of mistakes first time. Like, I used inlays around the lights here that I don't think I need, and I don't think I need one on the bit that goes in as well, but maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I want to get this cleaned up and see what's what. Also, I have something interesting I'm going to do with these front reflectors. I don't like that they're orange, and they're going to not look particularly great with the purple. So I'd like to make these white, and I have a way of doing it. I'm just waiting for something to arrive that I think is going to be quite cool. For now, like I say, despite feeling dog sick, I'm going to crack on with this. So trying to plug on with this whilst feeling horrible has not been the greatest, but I've been ticking away at it a little tiny bit at a time, but I haven't been recording it because I felt absolutely haggard. But I've got the front bumper here, like, prepped. I'd like half rewrapped it, and as I was doing one of these sides, I took the original wrap up and it brought all of the OEM paint with it. 20-odd-year-old car problems. So I took the entire thing back, and it's been like sanded back down flat and then done adhesion promoter and primed and just like recoated, ready to hopefully go again and not have the same problem again. So today I'm going to try and get this front bumper wrapped. Got the wrap down there, but I've done a load of the other parts. I've got both of these side skirts completed, and both of the front quarters. That one's got a emblem in it at the moment, but I'm going to use it. I've got these light up emblems, so I'm going to try and convert these. These are from the 370Z, so I've got to convert them for the 350. Not quite sure how I'm going to do it yet, but I've got some ideas. But yeah, it's been a slow and horrible week of progress, but progress nevertheless. I thought I'd be done by now, but illness sucks, man. Illness sucks. I'll try and get this finished today. Now I can start putting bits back on the car. Still feels like I've got a long way to go though. Roughly another week has passed. I'm at the very end of being ill, and I've been horrible at taking video of the progress of this car, but it is pretty close to being finished. I wrapped the bonnet in a matching gloss black to the roof. Front bumper is all nice. There's a couple of holes down here and a couple of marks, but that's fine. That's where the number plate is going. Fenders on both sides are on and brand new metal. Get rid of all of that rust issue. Doors on both sides are done. So yeah, I think pretty neat all around everywhere. I've still got to do the jams on this side, but yeah, one of the last bits to do. Boot is all finished, and the bumper is on. The bumper is just like hanging on at the moment because I want to do the rear quarters and like tuck it all behind here properly before I put the bumper back on. See, the indicator lights have all been blacked out, though not to fear when I put the still plenty bright. The 370Z style side indicators look super cool. Yeah, it's basically almost there. It's been a really long project over the last couple of weeks, but yeah, I mean, that looks really good. The color shift is awesome. Absolutely love it on this thing. Yeah. Couple more days and I'll be finished. Now, I don't claim to be an incredible car rapper. In fact, I'm a much better words rapper, as you can see, because I do this as another hobby. In fact, this is only the second car that I wrapped. Well, sort of. This is the only car that I've wrapped now for the second time. And in that time, I have learnt some kind of like unconventional tips, which I'll share with you now. Number one, most importantly, if you're doing a driveway wrap like this, lower your standards. We've all seen these incredible wrap companies that produce, fantastic, flawless quality wraps. But when you're on a drive and you're surrounded by the elements and the wind and dust on the floor and all this kind of stuff, perfection is not going to be possible. You're just not going to be able to do it. It's going to take one little gust of a breeze to blow some grit up from somewhere, and that's it. You've got it underneath your wrap and there's nothing you can do about it. So, try to make everything as perfect as you can, obviously, but don't worry about it. You're not working in some kind of workshop that's got absolutely no dust or lint flying about in it. You are working against the elements, so don't beat yourself up if things aren't absolutely perfect. Step number one. Number 2 is relevant to this. Take concessions where necessary. First time I wrapped this jam here as a single piece. So I had the jam here, in, out as a single piece. And I put a seam along this outside edge onto the rear quarter is probably how most people would do it. But because of that, there was loads of stretching down these 2 inside gaps. And it meant there was loads of lifting after, 2 months. So I'm not going to fight that battle again today. Jams are notoriously difficult already. And I'm going to put a seam in one of these inside edges. It's not like you ever see this part of the car anyway. It's not going to make any difference, and it'll make my life a lot easier. So I'm going to do the jam in 2 pieces and then a quarter as another piece. Make my life a bit easier. Again, not chasing perfection. We're just chasing really decently good. Number 3, know the weather forecast. I've known exactly what weather it's going to be every day for like the last 2 weeks. And I've known it a few days in advance because there are definitely weathers that make it easier and weathers that make it harder. I've found that doing this in late March, like it is now, has kind of been perfect. It's generally, like now, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's generally between 8 and 12 degrees C, which is, bang on. It's not too hot, but it's also currently like not too windy. I'm not working against the elements. The first time I wrapped this car, I did it a little bit later in the year, kind of early April, and it was already starting to get up to 18 to 20 degrees, and it was definitely too hot to be wrapping, and it meant that the vinyl was constantly overstretching. Not a mistake I've made this time. And it's meant that everything has been a lot more consistent. There's no overstretch anywhere where there were problems with that the first time, which is doubly important when using a matte wrap like we have done, because if you overstretch it, you're going to get these like big shiny sections.
Sorry,
mate.
I've got a parcel coming soon, and I've got to pop down to the co-op with my mum in a bit. I said, do you want me to take it in for me?
Yeah, sure, mate.
Hey, thanks, Sam.
Right, kill him, Michael. There's another one. Be prepared to get to know absolutely everybody who lives anywhere near you. I've spoken to, I think, every single person who walks past my house within a couple of mile vicinity, because everybody wants to talk about what you're doing. So be prepared to be social. If you try and do things on a real budget, at least make sure you have fresh gloves and a good quality knife with lots of replaceable blades, and replace them often. You might as well. Also, the difference between a good variable temperature heat gun, so this is the one I use, this is the Seek 1 heat gun. The difference between a good variable temperature heat gun and a single temperature one is massive. Don't try and do it with a hairdryer. You can't get it hot enough to do the post stick. Make your life easy, like I say. Right, I'm going to just lay this panel here. As you can see, I've got some knifeless tape along this seam. So I'm just going to concentrate on just this panel for now. Again, right, so I've just got 2 big creases here and here, but they're going to be underneath the rubber trim, so I don't care. Like, you're never going to see them. Changing my expectations. Take your time to enjoy the removal of knifeless masking tape. It is one of the most enjoyable and satisfying things. In fact, let's do a close-up. Oh, yeah, that's the good stuff. Beautiful. Take your time, pop and post heating. It makes a massive difference in how well everything sticks. 90 to 120 degrees. And this shows the big advantage of doing this in two pieces. Like now there's no air trapped in this kind of like low point alcove here. It's all just been removed. So now when I put the second piece down here, that won't be a problem. This one still might be, but it'll be fine, I think. So I need to mask off this end. I need to mask off this end with the knifeless tape, which again, best stuff in the world. And then do the next bit. So like I said, I'm not chasing perfection. There are a couple of tiny bits of grit that got underneath here, and underneath the top ends there's some fingers. I'm not worried about that. This will all be underneath here, so that's all gonna just like disappear, and these couple of bits will be underneath it. In fact, we'll put this rubber trim back on because I've already post-heated that bit. So this stuff here you're never gonna see anyway. All good. Important thing is this like edge on here is all nice and neat because this is like a prominent edge. And now I can just do the quarter panel, which by comparison is going to be so much easier because it's just a big flat lay. But first I'm going to post heat this, and then we'll take a look at laying down this piece. This quarter panel may look bad, but this is where I removed the aerial and then filled it all in and sanded it down. Even though it looks chaotic and multicolored, it's actually all very, very flat everywhere, which is exactly what we want. So let's do this piece. And see that aerial is like gone now. There's absolutely nothing to see there. You can see these seams, they don't really exist. So there's one seam here, and because I laid this panel second, the top edge of the seam faces in that way, so the edge that you might see is facing inwards, so you don't see it. And similarly, there is a second seam here, which again is just like nicely hidden. So that is one. Oh, is that one side of the car done? Lovely. Just going to put the skirts back on this afternoon, but and do the mirror. Took the mirror out so I could wrap inside here properly, but basically there. Just as the sun sets on this Monday afternoon, it's basically finished. Let's take a look. There we go. The only thing left to do is the spoiler. So these holes here, I'm not worried about. These are mounting holes, and there are a couple of dents in this bit here, but it doesn't matter because I use a Rocket Bunny spoiler that goes over all of that. Otherwise, side skirts back on. We can see we've got the Maxton skirt down the side, along with this Maxton spat at the back. And then around the front we've got the splitter, so we've got the full kit going on. Obviously it looks a little bit weird at the moment because it's on jacks, because the wheels are still got to come off and get done from the back. The only thing is one of my clips broke on my side skirt, so it's all gluing, and that's just going to hold it in place overnight. Oh, and I've got to do the mirror, but I'll worry about that tomorrow along with the spoiler. But other than that, my new wrap is all good, which means time can now be spent getting back in here and finishing all the new custom gauge and interior, because I know you guys are dying to see what we can do with that and start getting started on the full driver's dashboard. Yeah, I know this content has been very different to what we're used to on here. Really, we do electronics like Tinker projects, but this has been the culmination of my life for the last 2 weeks whilst I've been really sick. So it's this or nothing for this week. So we've got this week, and next week we'll get back onto doing those interior stuff. Hopefully the new PCBs will be with us to power all of the new mini gauges. So really looking forward to getting those in there and changing them a little bit so that they're now in keeping with this new exterior. I hope you've enjoyed that little look at what it takes to wrap a car. It's a lot. It's days and days and days of work, but it is worth it, and it does look awesome when it's done. Anyway, whatever you do with the rest of your day, folks, have a wicked one. I'll see you in the next video, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Take it easy, peeps. Bye-bye.